A mining advocacy NGO, WACAM, is accusing the state and the mining industry of lack of transparency and accountability over circumstances surrounding the Appiatse Explosion. In a yet-to-be-published report, it said the state and the mining industry have not been transparent and accountable to the citizens. We'll bring you details of the report shortly, but as we commemorate 1 year of the disaster that flattened the whole community and killed at least 13 people, Maxwell Agbagba brings us the following story, recounting events in the small community near Bogoso in the western region.
The explosion rocked the small community near Bogoso exactly a year ago. Appiatse was flattened. Bodies were littered all over, with some of them trapped and buried under the rubble. The vehicle carrying the explosives shattered into tiny pieces.
My old house is closer to the road.
Oh, your house is closer to the road.
I have so many things.
Joseph Appiatse was at work when he was informed about the death of his son, 21-year-old Justice Kwesi Takwa. He also lost his house and the pub.
I've lost so many things. Like I rightfully said, I have drinking spot somewhere, store somewhere, and then 5 bedrooms. And then my new house is 10 bedrooms self-contained.
10 bedrooms?
Yeah, each room having its own washroom. When the spark started, yeah, he rather rushed to the house and then woke the mother up. The mother was sleeping. Then went back to take videos of the incident. That is what happened. That is what my wife told me.
So he was very close to the vehicle?
My old house is closer to the road.
Oh, your house is closer to the road?
I have so many things. Drinking spot, 5 rooms, and then the new house.
Okay.
Store and other stuff.
Janet Amate's 1-month-old baby miraculously escaped death after their building collapsed on her. She sustained injuries on her face. She could not stop crying as medical personnel treated her injuries. The explosion led to many deaths, and those who survived are living serious effects of it. A retired ear, nose and throat surgeon, Dr. Paul Kwao Intodi, says some of the residents are experiencing mild to moderate hearing loss.
And so far, we've seen about 38 of the victims, most of them with bilateral perforation of the tympanic membrane, the eardrums. A few of them infected because even though they had been given prescriptions, I think they did not manage to get some of the treatment. 1 or 2 had their middle ear infected. And almost all of them had mild to moderate hearing loss.
There were claims that the truck carrying the explosives did not have any escort, contrary to the safety regulations governing the transportation of such materials. The Port Divisional Chief Nana Atakwejo Brempe II says the truck had no escort. President Akufo-Addo made a personal donation of 100,000 cedis and promised the government will rebuild Appiatse. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources also launched the Appiatse Endowment Fund to support those affected by the explosion. And a 5-member committee was launched to check and coordinate materials for building the community. In February 2022, the company involved in the manufacture of the explosives that devastated Appiatse Maxam Company Limited said it disagrees with findings of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources that suggest its regulatory breaches led to the explosion. It said the company that transported explosives, Artans Logistics, must be blamed. Although Maxam Company Limited disagreed with the findings, it agreed to pay a $6 million fine imposed on the company. In a recent visit to Appiatse, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo said Maxam is complying with the sanctions and fine. These women are gathered under tents singing to welcome a government delegation led by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo. Present here are the residents, traditional and opinion leaders, and more. The Port Divisional Chief Nana Atta Kojo Brembi II says some victims of the Appiatse explosion are now physically challenged with no funds to get medical care. Some of the residents are still at the hospital. Others are still recuperating. We do not have any money. That's why we are begging for support. Some of our people are now physically challenged and cannot do any active work. Some of their children are SHS graduates and are unable to continue to the tertiary institution because their parents are bedridden. That is why I am begging for support, he said with a worried face. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Samuel Abujinapo announced more plans to support the victims. He said government is committed to rebuilding the community and restoring the lives of the residents to what it was before or even better.
I must say that I'm very happy and excited about the progress of work. The work is on schedule, and God willing, all things being equal, by the end of this year, we will finish phase 1 of the Appiatse reconstruction community, and that will enable us resettle the displaced people of Appiatse. We are building a model community, building a community to become a model for other rural communities in our country. We are fully determined to make sure that we complete this reconstruction and ensure that the people of Appiatse are resettled and resettled properly. It is going to be a climate-friendly community with all the amenities of a modern community: schools, hospital, clinics, community centers, markets, and everything that will make a community a habitable one, with roads and water, sanitation, and everything. And we want to assure Nana and his people that we will work to their satisfaction and make sure that we bring this dream to fruition.
Among others, he presented bags of rice cooking oil and made a cash donation to the people. He also inspected the ongoing reconstruction of Appiatse. He's hopeful the contractors will be on schedule to complete the work in June.
We're going to have the community first of all, and the displaced indigenes will be resettled and resettled properly in settlements which were far advanced, far modern, far climatically friendly, and all of that. And we are insisting and determined to get value out of the funds which have been given out for this reconstruction. And I will also use this opportunity to continue to call on Ghanaians, to call on all and sundry to contribute to the fund, to continue to contribute to the fund, because as you can see, this is just phase 1 of the development. And indeed, people can take up even some of the projects like school blocks, nurseries, chief compounds, and all of that.
Architect of the Appiatse Reconstruction Committee, Charles Blankson Hermans, says the buildings are environmentally friendly and all social amenities will be provided.
The original Appiatse township that got blasted, comprising of about 120 houses or so, that is what is being built. The work is impressive. We are using the compressed earth bricks, making the green technology to be quite successful in this execution. It takes a bit more time to produce the compressed earth bricks, but it is very climatically inclined. So we are hoping that very soon they'll start the roofing of the house.
So by the June 5th this year, how many houses are we going to see?
We should be able to finish the core. The core? Yes, about 120. Obviously, because of the Christmas break, work has slowed down, but a lot has been done in the last 3-4 months. Come on. So we are hoping that by the June.
1 year on, the people of Appiatse are still living in tents. Many of the people who lost their source of livelihood are yet to recover. The Appiatse explosion serves as a tragic reminder of the importance of safety measures and regulations for the transportation of explosives for mining.
So that was put together by my colleague Maxwell Agbawa. Well, my colleague in the Western region in Nathalia Kwanzaa went back into the community and spoke with some survivors and sent in this.
You know, not me pamade. It's na mufi. me pamade ba aya me de kwechi nti me obi na adwuma wo fie nti me tina ha me da bibia epo and I'm say then I po car kwan na ha de bia wo gyan I am shishimu so me te kwan no baby aka na be si na hwa na mete na me say na then I po kwan hu de na me ba enim obahwe me kaba ba me de me hu ade kura okahye na asem hu de nti me hu ai de jed kan munum say ba de na abadi na oluba yan do hi.
Cecilia Aban is a seamstress here at Appiatse and one of the survivors of that gut-wrenching incident here at Appiatse that killed more than a dozen people.
I'm a kind of na driver and poor na driver make a day na son on upon me yet you no say me new yes ya da me as dem upon with you na car day on your she nti se bibi da mpo a nkode oka wanka nti ejan ye de bubu da ma na msoro loki ami ayin de mba ba ku bi no yele nti wanko school to she ye den mu ana osima mokwa akwhwehwe menua ba ku no msikwe nti okada okwa akwhwehwe no na ade ni si no nti me kwa na akwhwehwe no nti me fi mi fie ho kra na mlokọ baby minna baby kra na mamti ayin da ade no po ba ko pe me media oba be sham we no kan da de no bi kan da de na otutu no we no obometo so obometo no be bu ma yasi.
Cecilia, a mother of 3, tells me she has lost the urge to have sex because she still feels some pains in her vagina.
I didn't wait, so say do almost a me to so stra, you are annoying, Mamma, in the minute in a foot, and Pamadin. You are annoying, me, shall see a croon or tell my home Tom cry, I will be dampo, mean too. I will be dampo, mean too cry. I am you.
So we're trying to find a better place and then stand. Because you have been car and there is a place we are with you. So many men we moved to maybe a way you one night I observe whatever. Immediately we took some few steps, then boom! We had a blast. Unfortunately for me, my laptop bag we keep on through my lens scattered all over. But before now, when I was in front, but they were all down. But God being so good, I saw my leg torn into 2.
Like 2? Can you describe it?
It was torn into 2, like from here, what's all day. And I think, let me check if I have the images. In fact, it was very, I was so scared.
Okay.
I knew that was the end of life for me. So I was just sitting down. But I had all my ID cards in my laptop bag, which has been thrown somewhere. So I was trying to get it so that in case I die, they will find my ID cards on me and then know that this is him. I'm very lucky I had the small phone too, which is in my pocket. So the only thing, I saw the bleeding, everything, then I had to call my wife. My dear, I think, yep, we're just traveling. So if this is what has happened, this is what has happened, and I think I cannot make it because I saw people who were close to me dead.
I couldn't look Kofi straight in his eyes throughout our conversation. At a point, he lifted his shirt to show me how he now attends nature's call. A tube-like container with a deposit of a mushy substance in it hangs around his stomach. The substance in there is a fecal matter. Just like using a chamber pot for such purposes, he disposes of the waste, wipes it up, and moves on until he feels the urge to respond to nature again.
Bachewe no mensuno na umu yepi a toilet ni fem basa mensuno no te tuji ndi ba to me yewe na mtum ko toilet no mu yi mensuno pie say on toilet in fem anti toilet na mensuno ma den ba we hunsa na tuja bi a nsa mensuno bubo me ma no so den esan ko back say tuja bi so na asan kese ti sanati
untumi sabe en ko toilet sabe obi akono no
bache dawi
and I Jones also.
Jones or them Jones all right.
But toilet men I want to make said you'll be a corner.
Sir.
And I feel sign.
When the someone said feel fine, come we from my and come here and come pay. And we from come pay.
Ain't he say toilet never where then? How do you dispose it of?
Toilet never me piano. Yeah. Toilet never on me be na den me Baba for this time, you any few us and so from young as and dress it for Friday.
The impact.
We apologize for the very graphic nature of some of the footage there. Forgive us. Let's share with you details of the report by WACAM. Now, WACAM is saying that there's lack of transparency and accountability in the investigation surrounding the circumstances or about the circumstances surrounding that explosion. Now, the WACAM, which is the WASA Association of Communities Affected by Mining, has brought out some release. It says that the state and industry have not been transparent and accountable to citizens as investigations of the conditions that led to the accident have been shrouded in secrecy. Now, it again says the outcomes of the investigation have not been made available to the public. Now, it continues to say the Ghanaian populace should be sensitized enough on the dangers associated with accident involving hazardous and explosive materials. It says people tend to drift to accident scenes just to be first to capture the incident on social media, which must not be so. So that's a warning to all of us who are quick to go to accident scenes to take, photographs of what is happening. WACAM says that should not be the case. It again says regulations on the safe transportation of explosives have failed to provide for strict liability to the cost of an explosion arising from the failure of companies to comply with the regulations. It again says regulations have also failed to provide procedures for injured persons to claim compensation. Now, the company, WACAM says, had the company acquired escort to truck carrying the truck carrying the explosives as required by law, the explosion may not have happened. Now, the company says, the WACAM says the company failed to ensure that explosives were in the company of a competent person as required by LI 2177. Now, people in the affected community have lived in tents for close to a year with hardships on the victims, and this affects their dignities as human beings. WACAM says the tent camping is not conducive for long-term dwelling, especially in rainforest regions because of how many times it may rain. Temporary measures in disaster situations should remain temporary and not be stretched beyond. So that's what WACAM is saying there. So these are some of the findings in that statement. It continues to say the victims of the Appiatse community should be adequately compensated as a matter of urgency. Companies, especially in mining and support services, must follow all regulations and legal requirement in undertaking their operations. So that's, the excerpt of the findings by WASA Association of Communities Affected by Mining, WACAM there. We have been joined on phone by the MC for the Pristiahoni Valley Municipal Assembly, Dr. Isaac Dasmani, for more on the one-year anniversary. Doc, grateful that you could join us. Now, we are told by WACAM that the whole investigation has been shrouded in secrecy. Has the police told you anything about the investigations into the disaster?
Yeah, good morning and thank you for having me. The answer is no.
Okay. Now, the community members, we understand, have also been calling for more support. But 1 year down the line, can we really talk about the impact of the Appiatse, committee to foresee to the welfare of the people who are affected?
Yeah, my brother, thank you for having this morning on your show and for discussing the 1 year on after Appiatse incident. My brother, when the incident happened, almost all of you were there to see how things were managed. From the initial stage where they were moved from the parish hall to the tent, and from the tent to the temporary structure that through the Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural, Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Benito, and the Microsoft we put together, and then the company who also released their own computer settlement for us to complete it for them. Right now, as we speak, we completed about 41 units of houses that are various rooms. The total room is close to about 400. We gave it to the households that we are living in, while we are concentrating on the reconstruction at the same time. Now, if you look at items that people brought, we distributed it to them 1 year down the line. Almost all the food items and things that they brought to us, we are still having some little in stock that we are still giving it to them. Almost every month, we give them, some food, the items that people actually donated to us. Some organizations also came and then trained them in various areas of skill development. And then the ILO and Red Cross, they also spend money on their mobile phones direct. Each person received about 940 Ghana cedis. And then some other churches also came, donated some items to the victims. So by and large, we can't say that it has been 100%. But given the situation and how we have managed the crisis up to now, we might say that we've done with the good job for now. We can't say that everybody is satisfied, because even now, people who are not even involved in the disaster, when you ask them, they'll tell you that they still need some more. So what about people who have been involved on this unfortunate incident? So we can't satisfy their needs anyway, however they are. But we have done well to manage the situation, and then those who were affected. In total, about 496 people were affected with the 0 degrees of injury. And then as we speak, we have only 20 left that we are still nurturing. Some of them, some have some medals there. And then we have 2 who have been paralyzed. And these are the people that we are still taking care of and providing their ENTs to the hospitals, and maybe supporting them to pay their bills and all that. And that is exactly what we are doing 1 year now.
So for people who have been physically disabled for the rest of their lives as a result of this, what are we doing to ensure that they are able to maintain their livelihood sustainably?
Yes, for now we are doing what we can, but the management and the local authorities are also taking the issues up, so that we are also helping them with the little that we have.
Do we have people who are still living in tents at the temporary camp?
Those who are, I would say no in the first place, simply because, when the incident happened, some people signed undertaking that they want to leave the camp and then go and stay with their relatives. So those who were there, we took data of all of them and them. So when they realized that the temporary structure, the structure that we for them, as far as then they started trooping in one by one. And I'm sure, so the moment you move all of them, somebody will also find on the blind side, find his way over there to get into the tent. And then I've even asked the NADMO director to decommission all the tents, because some people are also using it as a day. And then once you move it there, another batch will also pack from town and then also come back. They were also packed. So we need to take, but people who were actually affected in Appiatse camp, that we put them in camps and then we were staying there with them. All of them have a place to stay now.
So those who are living in the tents now are not people who are affected, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But if that is so, what are you doing about it? Because if people who were not affected are living in those tents, what are you doing? Because WACAM is saying that we should make the temporary measure temporary one. And that's why those who were not affected, in your own words, something should be done about it.
No, when the incident happened, a lot of people were, some of them, so we need some of them to sign an undertaking that they are leaving the camp.
Okay.
Right. When initial stage, when they were all in the tent, they were, some of them, even most of them, even people who were actually not having a place to stay. And then those are the people that we concentrated on, and then they now, as we speak, everybody has a place to stay.
Okay.
But sometimes, once they realize that their condition is getting better, probably they also want to come in there. And then, so because, when you are doing planning, you use all these things to do planning, and then probably some degrees of freedom. But now, some people are, the moment you move them, then some of these young guys just go and then occupy the tent, and then they also be saying that they see their place. But we still have some rules that we are continuing routine and giving it to them. Okay. But this time around, what I've decided to do is that once I move all of them, I will commission all the tents, and then so that all of them have a place to stay.
Mm. Now, the community members we spoke to say they still need support. So what?
Of course, my brother, for support is here. Even apart from that, when you go there today, today we are having our 1 year thing. When you go there, a lot of them have bring their life back. Because if you look at the incident happening, it only affected where they stay, because most of them are farming. And all their farms and their activities are all, because in the majority, about 80% of the people who are living there were all farmers. And where they are living, staying is not far from their farms. And then their houses that were demolished. And then these are the people we have provided those kind of support for them. So a lot of them have picked their lives back. And of course, in some of these situations, there are people who are also capitalizing on this and also not to do anything. They decide not to do anything. But meanwhile, when you go there right now as we speak, a lot of them are going around. Some are opening their shops. Some are also going about doing their own thinking. Because, that is a lot of the things, or most of the women were all thinking sellers. And they've rented some shares and other things that then they are going about their activity.
Okay. All right. So for those still in a hospital, is the committee the one still taking care of them?
Yes. We most of the time when government is paying for the bills, but when they go to the hospital and they come with prescriptions, we provide them TNT, and then we provide them with prescriptions, and then we support them to buy all those things. The hospital bills itself, we are not paying for it, but at least once they go, they will tell them to go and buy something, and then they bring the receipt, and then we pay for them. And when they are going to provide their TNT, if there's surgery that they want to do, and then there are other things that we need to buy to support it, we do that.
Okay. All right, then. I'm grateful that you could join us here.
That's
Dr. Isaac Dasmani. He is MC for the Pristiahoni Valley Municipal Assembly. Now, Sam.